Many fans have been wondering why Episode 4 dropped 2 months after Episode 3, and our beloved Gooseworx finally gave us an answer. But along with that, we got some pretty sad news too. User Evie asked Gooseworx, "I saw someone say Episode 5 will be in January. Is that true? If so, where did they get that info?" As we remember, about a month ago, IMDb listed January as the release date for Episode 5. Even back then, I said January 1st seemed way too unrealistic and was probably someone's idea of a bad joke. Well, now we've got official confirmation. Gooseworx revealed, animation hasn't even started on 5 yet, so there's no way. This isn't just sad, it's a downright brutal announcement. If we draw parallels between the timeline for the pilot and Episode 2, and then Episodes 3 and 4, which released on December 13th, and now Episode 5, which hasn't even entered production yet, we can assume its release could take around 6 months. That means summer 2025. Alright, maybe we won't actually have to wait a full 6 months for the much anticipated sports-themed episode, but it's safe to say 2 months is also way too optimistic. So, how long will we have to wait? Don't worry, you'll get your answer soon. For now, drop your guesses for Episode 5's release date in the comments below. Oh, and one more thing. The next episode is going to focus on Regatha, who we've always associated with being kind-hearted and cheerful.
There she is. Hope you're doing all right. I know yesterday was a bit of a doozy. Oh, and don't worry about the whole abandoning me for the exit thing. It's perfectly understandable what you were going through at the time, and there's no hard feelings. You're all good.
However, her actions and words in Episode 4 completely destroyed the reputation she had been building for an entire year, all in just 30 minutes.
Why are you even the boss anyway? I feel like I'm way more responsible than you.
A team works much better when we're all giving it 110% instead of, 5.
No offense, but you're kind of annoying when you have your happy mask.
Let's talk about what might happen to Regatha and some of the other characters in the upcoming episode, but I'll save that for later. For now, let's solve the mystery of Episode 5's release date. This topic is currently blowing up on Reddit, and one user shared this theory. This means that the episode probably won't get released until April-May, 4 to 5 months, because that's usually how long animation takes for an episode. However, I'd be okay with that since it's presumably a sports episode, so releasing it during spring-summertime would be perfect. Another Redditor agreed, but suggested a slight adjustment to the timeline. Honestly, that makes sense. I'm happy to wait. I'm glad they are pacing themselves and not rushing. I think your May theory makes sense. It could even be March. Anyway, that gives us a lot of time to rewatch the episodes and watch more shows, and also watch and support other indie shows, especially those featured in GlitchX. Of course, not everyone was on board with this initial comments timeline. 4 months is actually quite long. On average, most indie studios take about 2 to 3 months. Unless they're starting to work on Gaslight District, we might get Episode 5 by March. Now, here's my take on the situation. I'd have to say I agree most with Sprout Cat. Waiting until May, let alone summer, seems highly unlikely. The long gap between the pilot and Episode 2 can be attributed to one key factor: the higher priority of murder drones at the time. While Glitch has publicly stated they don't care about view counts, which I think is only partly true, there's no denying that Glitch prioritizes its flagship projects. Back then, murder drones was their primary focus, so even though the amazing digital circus performed phenomenally, it was still second in line. Now things are completely different. Not only is the amazing digital circus their top priority, but its viewership numbers are absolutely skyrocketing compared to any other Glitch show during their respective releases, especially when you consider the somewhat murky status of Gaslight District, a project with an uncertain timeline or even an uncertain future. It's clear that waiting 6 months again is off the table. On top of that, Gooseworx now has access to significantly larger financial resources. This means they can hire more professionals to speed up production and post-processing for the next episode. When you factor in all of this, the predicted 3 to 4 month timeline no longer seems unreasonable. So we're likely looking at a release in March or April for the sports-themed episode. Considering no one wants to lose momentum or money, and the creators now have the budget to deliver high-quality work in a shorter time frame, late March to early April seems like a very realistic window. And as many Reddit users have pointed out, releasing a sports episode during the perfect spring weather would feel symbolic and well-timed. What do you think of my projected release date for Episode 5? Now, let's dive into some of the events that could unfold in the upcoming episode. The main character of the upcoming episode will, of course, be Regatha, as Gooseworx officially confirmed about 6 months ago. As I mentioned earlier, in episode 4, Regatha completely shattered the impression we had of her. And what made it especially unsettling was the fact that she finally started telling the truth.
Cool, that's 6 out of 300.
Ugh, you are such a grouch. Why are you always being a grunch?
What? Regatha, where's Pomni?
Huh? Oh, she's flirting with the gummy guy, 'cause she'd rather be with an NPC than with us or something.
Since the new episode can be characterized as digital games, it's highly likely that Regatha will take on the role of a ref. This will finally give us a chance to learn who she truly is and how she feels about the other residents of the digital circus. Another key figure on the chessboard of the upcoming episode will be Jax, who has changed significantly since his initial appearance. Think back to his behavior in the pilot and the second episode.
Ladies first. No, wait, why would I say that? You're violating my ears with your clapback. Get driving, driver.
When we catch up to them, we could...
Gotta be assertive. Like this!
Jax!
In the third episode, Regatha and Gangle managed to calm Jax down a bit, planting the seed of doubt in the idea of his unshakable confidence. Then, the fourth episode solidified the fact that Jax is actually quite easy to break. All it takes is making him as uncomfortable as possible. While he appeared his usual self at the beginning of the episode, his final scene completely blew my mind.
All right, I'm clocking out. This wasn't fun at all. See you all later.
Recalling Gooseworx's leak, we can assume that episode 6 is going to be complete chaos, and even the one word used to describe it confirms this entirely. This means episode 5 might either mark Jax's ultimate downfall, pushing him into total madness, or something could happen to one of the characters that drives Jax so over the edge, he'll be ready to take revenge on everyone because of it. Unfortunately, I can't share more details just yet because I've got a new video in the works, which you'll see this Saturday, where I'll fully dive into a theory that I'm sure you'll love. In the meantime, feel free to drop your own guesses in the comments, and if someone nails it, their comment will definitely make it into the video. About a year ago, we got hints suggesting that Zooble and Gangle share a strong bond, and episode 4 confirmed it.
I don't know if it'll work, but it looks about the same shape as yours.
Oh.
The best part is it's plastic, so it won't break as easily. Try it on. How's it feel?
It feels normal. Like in a good way.
That's good, right?
And even after all of Gangle's madness, Zooble never turned her back on her, doing her best to support Gangle during her tough times. But the most significant detail is Zooble's attitude toward Gangle. During the fast food masquerade, almost every character upset Gangle in one way or another, yet Zooble treated her with respect.
You know, when Regatha gets off, I feel like she might need a designated driver.
Why are you asking me? I'm closing tonight.
Oh, no, I meant I'd drive her home.
Oh. I think she gets off in an hour?
Taking into account one of Gooseworx's spoilers, it's clear that Zooble will get plenty of screen time in episode 5, as episodes 3 and 4 have already backed up Goose's words. Meanwhile, Pomni will keep trying her hardest to embrace the digital circus, and based on episode 4, it seems like she's starting to succeed.
If you want to get out of here, you can. You don't have to be stuck here alone. I can handle closing.
As for Kinger, it's tough to say much about him. Not only is his backstory fully revealed, but he was also absent from the adventure in the last episode.
Oh, I know. I could sit this one out, and Zooble could take my place.
What? That's not how that worked.
However, based on all previous adventures, characters always work in pairs, and episode 5 will likely follow the same pattern, especially since games like rugby or basketball require teamwork. In the pilot episode, Kinger was initially paired with Gangle. In episode 2, everyone except Pomni and Zooble teamed up. In episode 3, Kinger interacted with Pomni. So episode 5 might showcase a team dynamic between Zooble and Kinger. Considering Zooble's attitude toward Kinger,
What are you talking about? Jax just likes to fight with everybody. Gangle's too shy to speak up. Kinger's insane. Man, I can't believe Kaufmo just gave up like that. I mean, no offense, Kinger, but I always thought you would be next.
Thank you.
Guess it just goes to show you can't rely on Kinger for anything.
it's bound to be fascinating to watch how their interaction plays out. And with that, our video is coming to an end. Drop your thoughts in the comments about the release date and my little analysis of the character arcs in Episode 5. It's time for me to say goodbye for now. See you soon.